Good afternoon everybody, and I hope you're having a lovely Sunday afternoon. Welcome to the Stamps by Me studio. I'm Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush, and I'm here at 1 p.m. on a Sunday and 1 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon bringing you some crafty demos. So you may notice we've got a extra special new feature on these Sunday shows because they're pre-recorded when I'm in doing my live studios on a Thursday. We've now been able to add live chat to these pre-recorded shows for you. So if you go down underneath here, you should be able to join in with the live chat. I will be there also, so do pop in, say hi, and I hope you enjoy having the chat that we normally do on the Thursday shows as well. Do subscribe while you're here too. Press the bell and you will get notified of all the videos that both myself, Tony Derrick Stamps by Me, and Carly, Imala, and now joining us as well is Simon from Avago Inc. So you're going to get all those lovely tutorials and videos to catch up on. Should we do some crafting today? So I know loads of you have been telling me that you've been getting your deliveries of stamps and dies from the Forever Friends collection. So we're going to use the Morning Song, which is the kind of singular bird on a branch. We'll use a few of the dies as well, and then I'm going to do a background with this older die set, which is Light Up the Sky, and I'll use the Friends Forever sentiments as well. So a good mix of things today, but a nice clean and simple looking card. And I'm going to use, to do it for my colour, if I grab the pens I've put aside, I put a nice rainbow of colours from Tony's watercolour gusset markers. So we're going to create a nice background from this, and I do loads of like ink blending and painting and things, so I thought it's a good opportunity to use something a little bit different. So the first thing I need to do is create the background for that die cut. So I want to create like a really simple, clean looking white background with some watercolour, like a smooshing technique basically, using the pens. So this board I'm working on has got a bit of a texture, so I'm not going to do it on there, although I might try that after, it might give a good effect. But I'm going to use this, the top of my Eureka, as like a mat, if you like, for these pens. So I'm going to use a mix of 5. Shall I jot on a bit of scrap what colours they are in case you want to use? It might be a bit small for you to see there. So I've got a purple. The purple is 08. If I put a little swatch like that, you should be able to see. Got a pink, which is 60. Obviously you can use any colours, but it's just, if you do want to create exactly the same card, it's handy to know which ones. Yellow 05. And then I've got like a turquoisey one, which is 58. It's like acting like my blue, but I fancied a bit more turquoise than like a Colbert blue. And then I've got a green, which is 11. So you can always pause that and jot those down if you need. Lovely. So, as I say, I'm going to use the mat on the top of the Eureka like a mat, and I need the brush nib, and I'm literally going to squiggle on a bit of colour. Hope you can see that, literally just a squiggle. And then I'm going to go around kind of in colour order, so pink into yellow, yellow into green, just a scribble, the turquoise, and then I'll do the purple. So I hope you can see that. I've made it roughly the size of this A5 piece of card that I'm going to smush into those colours. I'll just pop those aside for a second. And then I need water spray, and I'm going to give it a good half a dozen spritzes and just leave it for a second just to kind of let the colour move. Then I've just got normal white cardstock. I think this is say 250, but you could use a watercolour cardstock as well if you've got it. And I'm going to smoosh in. That's going to give me, it's left a little bit more of the scribbles than I fancied, but it's not to worry. What I'm actually going to do is use that one for the bird. I did one earlier. Isn't it strange how it can be different on the same piece of card? Look, that's the exact same cardstock. Let's see how that one, maybe I had a little bit more water maybe. I'm not sure. But we can still use this. I'm just not keen on it being the background because of those really obvious squiggles. So I'll use this one as the background. We'll make use of that for the bird. Just give this a wipe. So to die cut this for the background, I'm going to use that lovely light up the sky. Just get those bits off so they don't indent. And like I say, this is one of our older dies. I think it's still 2020, but earlier on. And it gives a really cool, like, fireworky kind of effect. What's really nice then is to put your kind of focal point. In this case, it's going to be the bird, but it could be flowers or just a sentiment or anything in the middle, and then it looks like this detail is going to be shooting out. So it cuts a whole plate ready to fit straight on a 5x7 card. And what I would say is if you're doing this card at home is just dry off that background or leave it to dry naturally before you die cut it. Otherwise sometimes it can be hard to get out all the little bits if the fibres of the paper are still wet. But you can always grab a pokey tool as well if you need to get those bits out. And they're going to pop out really easily. Just get rid of the ones off there. I think Tony needs some new plates on her machine. They're all sticking. Pop the die aside. Yeah, and I'll just get those out. See if I can get them out by bashing it. I'll have to get the vacuum out when I've finished. Otherwise Tony will be telling me off for all the bits. Just saw out a pokey tool. Maybe my little mini scissors will do the trick. So again, this is probably because that bit of card is very, very slightly damp, or you can use an extra shim even. And I'm going to layer behind this some metallic card. I've got some of my favourite holographic that I use an awful lot, and that's going to give kind of a really cool shine and make that fireworky effect even more prominent. Just the last couple now. But that works really nicely with that kind of rainbowy background, I think, that watercolour background. Okay, get rid of all my bits. So that holographic I've got here ready, and that's going to sit behind. You see the shine behind that? It really adds to that rainbowy effect, I think, when you get the shine. So let's layer that up ready, and then when we finish the bird, it's all going to be good to go to mat onto this background. So for the metallic card, I'm just going to use some double-sided tape so it sits nice and flat. Anybody up to anything exciting today? Any Sunday dinners or going out to walk the dog or anything? It's about as exciting as my Sundays get, lately anyway. And then I'll use some wet glue just to pop that on top. I find the wet glue easier with something like this where you've got lots of detail, because you can work your way around the edge without worrying about will my tape fit. And you can put a nice little splodge in the middle as well, and any other little gaps. And then just lay that. I'm going to hold it in place for a second or two because it's on a shiny surface, so just make sure it holds nice and tight without buckling. Okay, so pop that aside for a second and we'll get the little birdie ready. And I'm thinking, so I don't cover too much of that lovely fireworky background. Let's just use the little single one, I think. So do you remember this one that I wasn't totally happy with? This bit I really like here where the colours have blended. So let's maybe stamp over that bit. It's still a tiny bit damp. So before I stamp over it, just dry it off a little bit, because I fancy using some embossing powders on there and it's just going to stick all over it otherwise and make a mess. I think that feels dry enough. So grab my Eureka back out. And yeah, let's stamp him over that bit, I think. I'm going to stamp him in Gold Digger, which is our gold embossing powder that loads of you have got already. And I've just dried it off, but just to be super sure that the powder doesn't go anywhere where we don't want it, I'll use the anti-static bag as well. And stamp it a couple of times just to make sure we're getting everywhere, because it's that clear ink we can't see as well. And this birdie could be anything. It's not a particular type of bird when I've drawn it. It's just a kind of quite generic, could be a little garden bird, you know, sparrow or a blue tit or something like that. Or you could be a bit more tropical with these crazy colours, whatever you fancy. Okay, so let's heat set him. I don't know why I think he's a him. Maybe he looks more of a masculine bird. I don't know. There are no rules, are there? So just heat set that. You can see him go nice and shiny and gold already. You see the nice gold powder? There we go, and the shine. So let's die cut him out. In the set, you get two for him. So the outer one can be used with the stencils and masks that the set of 3 comes with, or you can use it like a standard matten layer, which I'm going to do today. So just get a little bit of tape. This is just going to give me the 1 mil, and it's going to have that lovely colour round as well. And the matte layer, I may as well stick it through at the same time, being as I've got the large machine here. I'm just going to do it in black. Fit both of those through at the same time. And then I just think we need to get the sentiment ready, and then we can pop it all together. I might go back to my kind of classic I haven't done for a few weeks with the sentiment, and use the white embossing powder on some black. We'll have a look at some of the new sentiments as well that came out on Saturday. So I've got my black matte layer. Oh, it's pulled up a bit, but luckily it's going to sit behind, isn't it? That one's done. And the little birdie ready. So I'll pop him aside as well while we do the sentiment out the way, and then it can all come together. So you may have seen on the show on Saturday there was this set with the kind of paint stripes sentiments. So they've got like a negative image for the sentiments. So you've got things like happy birthday, hugs and kisses, you do you, which is a bit of a funny one, and then you've got like anniversary, amazing, that kind of thing. So let's do this as like a sympathy card. I've got I'm so sorry here, and because it stamps the outer bit, this is going to work perfectly, I hope, on this with white on black with the embossing powder. Should I do white or should I do a metallic? I'm thinking to go with the... Now let's do gold, because I just want to see, I know the gold is super, super fine, and I want to see how that goes with a little birdie. This is I'm so sorry, and it's just a pretty standard bold font in there, so it can be nice and readable. It's like one of those typewritery fonts that I use a lot. Get my scrap again to catch the excess. Right, and let's heat set that. I think it might be too fine for you to see on the camera, but I can see the words quite clearly here. It's just that it's quite a small sentiment, this one. Don't know whether you can see that. It almost looks like it's been like letter pressed inside. In real life I can see that quite clearly. It says I'm so sorry, but it's just a bit far away for you from on the camera. But let's pop it all together. Let's do, yeah, so I was thinking maybe the birdie kind of behind here. I keep calling him a birdie like we're 5 years old and I'm a children's TV presenter. and I might chop that down a little bit more. Let's get him on his matte layer in the middle. Should we have him almost sitting on there? Let's pop him on some pads maybe. Yeah, let's trim that down. Just going to grab the trimmer. This might be a little bit too wide there, can you see? So I'm just going to take a little bit more off. I just didn't want to cut it too small before and then not get it quite right. Yeah, I think I like that better with a smaller kind of border around it, if you like. And let's pop him, tuck him behind there. So I think kind of rainbows as well at the moment are like, lots of people do them for the NHS cards and things like that, but I feel like it's become a bit of a national symbol for hope too. So I feel like even though normally in sad occasions we don't do bright colours, I don't know if you feel it's appropriate for the situation. I like a bit of cheery colour too in a card that's maybe sympathy or sorry that somebody's maybe not doing so well or something. It's something a bit different, but it still feels kind of classy and not inappropriate for the situation. But I really like that kind of starburst look behind the birdie. And yeah, I'm glad I went for the gold in the sentiment in the end. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back on Thursday at 1 p.m. and I've got some new things to show you. So stay tuned and I'll see you, so Thursday 1 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.